This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Erica, holding space for our girl, Tori. She will be back next week. And we've got Stephanie Jones joining us today. So as we mentioned yesterday, big tech CEOs were on Capitol Hill. And today, everyone is talking about this moment right here. When Senator Josh Hawley was grilling Meta CEO Marc Zuckerberg and pressured him to apologize to the families whose children were exploited on social media. Take a look.
Are you going to compensate them? Senator, our job and what we take seriously is making sure that we build industry-leading tools to find harmful content,
make money,
take it off the services,
to make money,
and to build tools that empower parents.
Let me ask you this. There's families of victims here today. Have you apologized to the victims? Would you like to do so now?
For that to go through the things that your families have suffered, and this is why we invested so much and are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
One of the moms present in the hearing said her 15-year-old son committed suicide after being bullied online. Here is her reaction to Zuckerberg's apology.
Mark Zuckerberg's apology really didn't mean anything because at the same time, children are still being harmed and children are still dying. So whatever protections that these CEOs claim are putting in place are not working.
So what do you think about Zuckerberg's apology? I know, Jeff, you had some feelings about forced apologies.
Yeah, and I don't want it to seem like I'm not on the victim side because I totally am on the victim side. And yeah, absolutely. And I am totally against what they're doing on social media, and there needs to be regulations. I want to take this kind of in a different direction, right? The way he kind of talked down to Mark Zuckerberg and forced him to apologize, I felt like there was a lot of that going on in society the last couple of years. And a lot of people were forced to apologize. They've done decades ago, including myself. That apology doesn't mean anything. It's a forced apology. Right. You know, the words that we use now are so blown out of proportion that they have no meaning. You want me to apologize? I'll apologize. I have apologized 100 times in the past. You want me to do it again to their face? I'll do it again. People are going to think what they want to think. It doesn't matter if you apologize or not. I don't like the forced apology, but I am with the victims. I wish Mark Zuckerberg did it in his own terms. Hey, I'm sorry. We're doing our best to do this. I know the victims are here, and I wish he did it on his own accord rather than being talked down to from above. When you're a billionaire, I would have said something different even if I was in that situation.
What about the legal culpability? Because generally when people aren't giving a public apology, it has to do with legal culpability. So Al...
can and will be used against you in court, I believe is the phrase. And Erica, I felt like, I don't know if you noticed, he was choosing his words very carefully, because if you say, we were wrong about that, or we shouldn't have done that, any of those things where the four of us would apologize and keep it moving.
Admitting?
Yes,
yeah.
That can be really used against you. And I think that's why he was kind of fumbling for his words. Not that Josh Hawley can have this multi-billionaire on the hot seat. It's like he could potentially be putting his company in jeopardy for legal situations.
Oh, that makes sense.
And as it pertains to what you were saying, Jeff, about you don't want to hear any apologies, I don't want to hear any apologies anyway, either. I want to hear your plan. That all I need is your plan. You never have to say, I'm sorry. If there's a problem where one of us is double parking every morning, I don't need to know that you feel really bad about that. Just tell me where you're going to park tomorrow and how you're going to fix it. I don't need your apologies.
Al, I feel like that was so personal since we have two of our spots that have been taken up for like 2 weeks.
That was aimed into the ether.
Yeah, it was so specific.
Or the white car outside.
That's what I was talking about. Like, this random car, 2 spots, won't move.
That's so funny. No, I agree with Al. If I was one of the families, I wouldn't want compensation. I wouldn't want money for the death of my child. And I don't see Mark Zuckerberg as being the person who caused this. I want to hear action. I want to hear what's going to change. I want to hear how they're going to implement it, what they've been doing since all of these cases have been brought forward, what's been going on since then. I don't need Mark Zuckerberg to come knock on my door and say, oh, I'm really sorry, I give you... It wasn't him, it was his tool that other people used, but it wasn't him directly.
Right.
And I do think, obviously, yes, he was put on the spot, he had to choose his words carefully, absolutely. He's a smart man, he wouldn't be where he was if he, you know, without being very diligent about how he was presented in those situations. But, you know, I do think more does need to be done online. We talk about this all the time. We talk about bullying, how people commit suicide, how people come up with the most horrendous things, and it just never seems to end. So we have so much advanced technology. We're looking at life on other planets when there's literally wars and death and illness right here, never mind on the internet. But it's literally like, where are the people putting the money towards those things to ensure the people on this planet, the young children that are suffering and killing themselves here in the now, are being taken care of?
I think you're also missing a major point here, because if we don't have the conversation about how these tools are benefiting Senator Hawley and everyone else in that room,
that's it, Erica.
How these tools are benefiting campaigns, how these tools are benefiting adults who have agendas to push and money to be made. He kept saying, make money, make money, make money. Of course, that's on your mind because you know that's what you're doing.
Right.
Everybody in that room is culpable. Everybody in this room is culpable.
Right.
So when we have this conversation and we're constantly passing the buck on personal responsibility, what about the children who decided to gang up online against this child? What about their parents? So where is the responsibility across the board?
I'm glad you brought that up.
But coming up on DBL, we are kicking off Black History Month by talking about two of the civil rights movement's most important figures, Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. And my girl, financial expert Buffy Purcell. She's my girl. My financial advisor is sharing important tips now that tax season is here.
We're getting to the bottom of white car in the parking lot gate.
Why don't we? So there's a car that's been parked in 2 spots.
Right. I guess I'm assuming the car is disabled. But you know, guys, we're doing it. Well, we're talking about white car gate. I'm telling them there's a car that's disabled.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So then talk to the people.
No, we were just saying, do you think 8 of us, like 8 guys, could pick it up outside?
Oh,
I think so.
Like world's strongest man.
No, I think there's like 8 of us who could pick it up.
So this is so inside baseball.
Don't you think?
But when it comes to parking in this building, it has been a hierarchy of social stratification. I have been coming to this building since 2009. It started then, and it's just gotten worse since more people have been in the building. We do not have enough parking. So there have been parking wars to the point where I was supposed to go on a trip. I was going to be gone for 5 days. I wanted to leave my vehicle here. They told me I could not leave my vehicle here overnight because it was against the law.
When we did it 3 months before, we totally did it.
There's a white car that's been sitting there against the law, okay?
I don't like when people.
I know.
The law is gonna come through.
It was against, I'm telling y'all.
I'm sure they
Like, you think I'm just sitting here making things up? I got better things to do with my time.
Crazy.
Here's what's happening in that. Someone got an email, it's like their first week, and they're like, can I leave my car? And they're like, it's against the law. They didn't know what to write.
But they're like, I've heard that the car has a bad transmission. I'm like, okay.
So
Get it
what
out
do
of
you
here.
do?
Dan Aykroyd in the elevator. You've located the smell. Now do something about it.
Pinpointed it.
Yeah. It's like, honestly, dude, what that car, because I was here this weekend, and I was like, why is that car, you want to pick it up?
Yeah, don't you think we
DBL honors Black history.
I remember going to my grandmother's house where we count tales of childhood and not being able to go into certain stores, stay in certain hotels, stop at certain gas stations. And I remember at such a young age how crazy that sounded to me, but also how recent it was because the people that I was talking to were very much alive and thriving.
Welcome back to DBL. It's the start of Black History Month, and all month long, Al and I are sharing our personal connections to the fight for civil rights, and we're also talking about the importance of Black history. So, Al, that was really thoughtful. It's thought-provoking because I, too, remember signs and stories, and it is crazy because when we look at history in general,
Right.
when it's, you always say when it's black and white, makes it feel like
I was thinking that as we rolled that footage.
Yeah.
I mean, when we showed this civil rights footage, obviously it's 1968. It was a while ago, but it wasn't that long ago. A lot of that footage is 9 years before I was born. I know a lot of people here think I'm old, but it really is that connection to history is really close. And, you know, talking to my grandparents that just casually would be like, you remember that movie Green Book? That I believe it won an Academy. Yeah, but you know that was a real thing, and a lot of people don't realize. Like my grandparents, my mother is from Jackson, Mississippi. My mom was born in the late 1940s. I mean, just think about what was going on. The civil rights movement wasn't going to happen for another 20 years. So I mean, the idea of you not being able to go to certain hotels. I remember my grandparents would talk about sundown towns, where like if you're black, you shouldn't be out during the day. And it was like, hey, that's a sundown town. But it was very casual, like, oh, if you're going to go to this city, remember it's a sundown town and they'll kill you if you're out. And it was just, that's the way America was, where we are right now. So that's why I say for as much as it's awful and it needs to be recounted and repented for in some situations, we do have to give ourselves some credit. And when I say ourselves, the people that laid down their lives, literally, Medgar Evers, so that we could sit here and almost kind of look at this as a relic of the past when it really wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. The last time I went to North Carolina, Red Springs, North Carolina, with my dad was when my aunt passed away. That was in 2020 or 2021 during COVID. And that was like the craziest thing, because what people don't understand about like January 6th, so I was in Red Springs, North Carolina, and we were driving through what was a segregated county, and it has been historically, and to this day it kind of still is, and that's where my father is from. And he was born, he was going through talking about like, this is where the shack that I was born in, with no electricity and no water and no flooring. And then when you said the sundown towns, he was like, this is where we would go, but only at this time on these particular days. And this place was where it was okay for you to be there with white folks. Like, that's my dad. You know?
It's not like you're touching the past like you're talking, you know, to Alexander the Great or something. It's your dad. And he uses modern technology, but yet, like, you know, it wasn't too long ago that being in a segregated community was just par for the course.
Well, two of the civil rights movement's most important figures, Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, are the subject of a new series that premieres tonight on Nat Geo and tomorrow on Hulu. Kelvin Harrison Jr. plays MLK Jr., and in a recent Q&A, he said one of the coolest parts about the show was learning about their characters. He shared that he was shocked to learn MLK Jr.'s birth name was Michael. So were y'all aware that MLK Jr.'s birth name was Michael?
No. I had no idea.
I had absolutely no idea. I was really surprised.
And again, it's one of those things, and that's what I'm hoping to learn from this series, is I want to see them continue to humanize Martin and Malcolm. We know what they did. We know what they stood for. We know that they were both assassinated. And in a lot of cases, we know why. But what we don't know is, like, what else did he do? What else did Martin Luther King do? I see pictures of him playing pool. He was a full person. He laughed. He cracked jokes. He broke bread with his friends. They had inside jokes, and I'd like to see that continued humanization so they don't just always an answer on a history test. Like, these were people, and they stood for something, and they gave up a full life for us to be sitting here, not just, you know, some bullet point in a history book.
Absolutely. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's tax time, and if that stresses you out, relax, because financial expert Buffy Purcell joined us earlier with some tips.
Buffy, we've missed you.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
I miss you all too.
All right, let's get to it. Before we get started, the man who stole and leaked Donald Trump's tax records was sentenced to 5 years in prison. So how important is it to keep your tax information private, and what's the best way we can do that?
It's extremely important to keep your tax information secure. I think that a lot of people's tax information is being leaked with regular folks because they're allowing folks to do their taxes for them. I call it kitchen tax. Everybody now uses, you know, the new tax software, and all of a sudden everyone's a tax accountant and I can do your taxes, and they have all your information, your kids' social, your wage and income statement, your social security numbers, and all of that on their kitchen table. And so any and everybody that comes to their home is snapping pictures and taking it and, you know, going out there and using it.
Wow, I never thought about that. That's good to know. Speaking of things we need to know, what should we know about the filing deadlines this year?
So tax season began on January 29th and it ends on April 15th, 2024, unless you live in Maine or the state of Massachusetts. They'll have until April 17th because there's Patriots Day and an Emancipation Day state holidays.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get to the fun stuff. When can we expect our refunds?
You can hurry up and wait, baby. 21 days. And that's if you file electronically and you select direct deposit. And I would hope that everyone's doing that because it's more safe and secure. Don't get a check mailed to you. Don't do it, baby.
Ooh, okay. All right, Buffy. Let's talk about loud budgeting, girl, because when I think of loud budgeting, I think of you, sis, because you be giving us all of the gems, and yes, I write them down and then I text you like, was that for me? So this is a new trend on TikTok, and people are sharing their budgets and savings goals with family and friends. How effective is this?
It's very effective, and I'm here for it. It's like a mantra. It's like you're saying, hey, yo, this is my budget. Your girl, like, Erica, you know, when you and I go out to eat, we fighting over who gonna pay the bill. I'm gonna pay it, you gonna pay it. Everybody isn't like that, right?
Yeah.
Right. We fight over it, and most people aren't like that. And so if you have a budget, it's like not saying I don't have, it's saying I'm not going to. And so it takes the shame away from having a budget. And so you put your friends on blast and you say, yeah, we can go out to eat. I'm gonna spend $100, so that means I'm gonna buy about $75 worth of food and drinks, and then I'm gonna leave a $25 tip. If y'all ball out of control and get appetizers and bottle service, I'm putting $100 down, and that's it.
That is smart. Get ahead of it.
Super smart. Girl, I'm gonna come see you in a couple weeks.
Yes, so many fights.
You can fight over the bill.
Yeah, especially as non-drinkers. Don't try and loop us in, non-drinkers. Don't loop us in your dinner bill.
It's true.
Yeah.
Always great information, but we're going to switch gears here because, Buffy, you look fantastic. You recently shared.
Thank you.
Yes, you do. You recently shared that you lost 80 pounds. Many people have New Year's resolutions to lose weight and get healthy, but that can be expensive. So what is your secret to doing this without breaking the bank?
So yeah, I tried everything, and a couple years ago, I decided that I wanted to make a change, and my husband and I came up with what we call the Buffy protocol. And so I did the GLP-1 agonist for 5 months, and I lost weight, but I also started working out with the kettlebell. I put a gym in the house.
Shout out to the kettlebells.
I changed my diet and exercise, and I also did cognitive behavioral therapy. You know, my husband's a psychiatrist, to get to the root cause of why I was overeating. And, now here we are. I've kept the weight off now over 1.5 years. So.
Jeez, everything you touch turns to gold. Thank you so much for joining us, Buffy. DBL Nation, visit MRSMD.com for your personal plan to lose weight and save money, just like Buffy herself. Thank you again, Buffy. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Bye.
Enter the Sandals Blue Valentine giveaway to win an all-inclusive vacation to the brand new Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines or any Sandals resort of your choice. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2. The winner will be announced on DBL February 28th. Today's Sandals word of the day is paradise. Paradise. Welcome back. We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out.
What do you have for us today, Steph?
Jeff, if this doesn't have your name on it, I don't know what does. It's the Cuisinart 11-piece Forever stainless steel cookware set. This doorbuster deal includes a 2-quart saucepan with a lid, a 3-quart saucepan with a straining lid, a 3-quart saute pan with a helper handle and a lid, an 8-quart stock pot with a lid, an 8-inch skillet, a 10-inch skillet, and a steamer insert. Normally, it's $590, but we have got this entire set for just $99.99. That is saving 83%. Next up is the Adoro Power Up Trinity 3-in-1 wireless charging station for Apple products. It can charge your Apple phone, your watch, and earbuds on the platform. So normally this is $100, but we've got this for $24.99, which is saving 75%. Now check out this, Jeff. We have got the 2-pack Eco Egg Fresh Linen Scent Laundry Egg. These completely replace normal washing detergents. These hypoallergenic eggs are using natural cleaning pellets that contain no harsh chemicals, so it's suitable for sensitive skin. Normally, these are $22 each, but we have got a 2-pack for just $15, which is saving 66%. And then check this out. It is the Diamond Muse 1/4 carat TW genuine diamond heart pendant necklace. This dazzling design has got 2 hearts. One heart has a swirling outline of shimmering diamonds, and the second heart has got a bright polished shine. So normally this is $205, but we have got it for just $39.99, which is saving you guys 80%.
Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even scan the QR code on your screen to take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph.
We love sharing your comments, and they're all about Mark Zuckerberg and the Senate hearings. Benjamin says this is what happens when you let industry police itself, and it's a shame. Megan says teens go to school and learn a whole lot more from peers. Well, that's true.
Let's hope. Yeah, I will say this, Erica, it's so weird. I thought about what you said, that comment about like where are the parents, and it's like it took us to the end of the segment to even get to that simple point. It's not that there aren't algorithms and things we need to deal with, but there's a bunch of students that all got together and bullied a person to death. And we need to figure out the genesis and the birth of like where that comes from.
DBL is new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.